So Klay Thompson has been a bad boy. He's ruined every whore's dream globally. All these 304s, their heads are exploding. Because here's the deal. He was the ultimate dream story that you could be sexually liberated out here, thought it up, getting, singing that WAP music and doing whatever, sleeping with multiple men. And at the end, look, you got a squared away dude from the suburbs like Klay Thompson that will wipe up a retired 304 or whatever else. And their head just imploded and exploded because it failed. Because you know what happened to Klay Thompson? It's the same thing that happened to many men. They experience PNC regret, post-nut clarity regret. When they found out that the juice is not worth the squeeze, and they woke up next to something that's just an empty vessel. I'm not saying this is her situation. I'm just speculating. This video was pure speculation, but I understand manhood masculinity and the male psychology. And I also understand the streets and these 304s and these women who's many of them suffer from penis envy. That's why they wanted to be sexually liberated like men. But the fact of the matter is this. He got with it. He hit it. It rocked his world. And he tried to domesticate it. And we talk about it all the time in this channel. Let these wild horses run free. Most of us, many of us, have tried to domesticate these things. And let me tell you something. Stick with your dating and relationship DNA. I use the word DNA for a reason. If you were squared away black dude like me, or some squared away white dude, or some biracial squared away dude, stick with your DNA, your relationship DNA. You don't need to be sampling things, these wild things. Well, sample and run, whatever. I'm not saying you should sample or whatever. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But learn how to run and stick in your lane. Because what happened is, after the physical experience, after the high, the physical high, and he examined the full depth, the character, all that comes with that individual, the baggage, the relationship, the compatibility, the chemistry. We talk about the 10% women on this channel. When those things don't align, and you're just laying in the bed next to somebody, and the energy, as you can see in the photo that I posted, the energy and the life has just been sucked out of you like a vampire. And you realize that this person, outside of that sweet and tender, that's why I say sex is just a memory on this channel. Peace is enduring. After you've released all that testosterone and you're looking, there's some guy right now, I know you right now, you're sitting down and you're looking at your Johnson and you're saying to yourself, why did you do this to us? How could you just betray us like this? You bastard. I pounded this woman. And he's looking at her and he's saying to himself, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And he's trying to figure out every reason to get out of that relationship like Klay Thompson did. And you see, he sabotaged that shit so he can get the hell up out of there because he realized that all he got was WAP. And after he tried the WAP and he calculated what it cost him to be in this relationship, the bullshit that comes with it, he realized that the juice was just not worth the squeeze, like many men do. And they do the calculation. They calculate all the bullshit that comes with her. They calculate the emotional maintenance, the high maintenance, the financial high maintenance, the stress. And they figure this shit don't add no value to my life beyond a nut. And that's what happens to men. All men of all races all around the world. And when they get with certain women, just purely on some physical stuff, and there's nothing of substance that woman has because she has not been developed or was not raised to be in a relationship with a man in the distance, in the long term. What we're seeing now with relationships today, because we've had a society and a culture that have raised women to be something other than a long-time wife or long-term girlfriend to a man, is we have women that have no other skill set, relationship skill set, beyond just pre-owned. That's all they're giving the man. It's pre-owned and a migraine headache. Insufferable. And I'm sure Klay Thompson sit around looking at this woman and he's saying to himself, and she's having a good time because she is living a 304 fantasy. Look, y'all, I can be with all these men and do all this stuff, and I can still get myself some squared away dude from the suburbs with multi-millionaire. Look, girls, don't listen to these men. You can win live you and be. It's every city girl 304 whatever fantasy, man, that he just crushed, smashed, and they hate his guts. They hate him. They despise him. They want him. They be careful, man. Klay crossing the street with these women. You just destroyed their world. Their world is destroyed. And that's why, like I said, that shit, they just don't have what it takes to be in a relationship. They were not raised that way. They're not cultured that way. Their mindset, their mentality is not fit that way. It's a thrill, and it's a short-term thing. And that's why you see guys go in and out of monk mode all the time. They'll be like, they go on a streak where they're messing with certain women, but after they get tired of waking up in the morning and trying to find some excuse to get the hell away from this woman, they just like, I'm going to take a couple months off. That's it. Just take 3 months off. Just take a break from these women. Because again, no development. All selfish, me, I, me, I, or the delusion and mental health issues and trauma that comes from sexual liberation has basically destroyed the minds and mentality of many women. And the culture itself breeds an individual that was not raised to serve anybody but themselves. They look in the mirror, all they see of themselves. It's like either borderline personality or narcissism. Again, I'm not a clinical specialist, anybody. I do have some training, but the reality is, you identify these narcissists in the culture. You identify that they have nothing to offer a man outside of pre-owned, and you understand what you're losing. You see, Klay Thompson realized and he calculated what is the cost. That's what men are starting to do now. And men are starting to protect. What is the cost of being with this woman? It's not just money. It's mentally. It's the stress. It's the headache. It's the irritation. Or if she wants to be really bad, that's the constant accusation. She may think you're cheating all the time. She might cause all kinds of chaos and problems in your house. Not only that, her personality and her mindset and her mentality may not be aligned with your values. And that's a fault of a man. And then you're looking at her, and then you say, this doesn't fit into any vision that I have for my life and the future that I see for myself. And again, the 10% women, I have to give an exception, gentlemen. I know they're rare. Those are the ones that add value to a man's life. And a man knows it, he feels it, he understands it. And you can understand men just don't part ways with good, high quality women. Those women are kept. Those women are valuable. So if they're running around out here in the wild after a certain age, especially, I'm an old guy, so I'm out the game. After 30 and whatever else, they've been through a bunch of experience. They've had a long time to secure themselves a man for a long-term relationship or marriage. And you say to themselves, with men having 20 times more testosterone than the average woman, they already had a biological sexual advantage because men want to mate. And if a man can secure, safe and reliable, pre-owned, and a good squared away woman with a good mindset, of a good mentality, he's going to keep that woman. And he's going to want to be with that woman for the long term. We're not talking about, whatever the guys that out here want to be out here running through women or just, out here and be free and no one. We're talking about the regular average man is not just going to be parting ways with something that is good and high quality. So what you see out here many times are the women that have bought into this hardcore feminism and they don't need no man or just, I call it the penis envy, where they want to go around and be sexually free and active like a man or focus on their career Or they're the ones that, I think Dr. Ryan Caravan made the video the other day where it was talking about, the women that say that I got my own money, I don't need no man. Basically, you're saying all a man is money. So in their minds, they thought that they were men. Just because they had money, they go out here, run around, and have all these different experiences. And then at the end of the rainbow, pick some guy. And like I said it before in my videos, marriage is the last stop on the sexual liberation rail lines. The guy who marries women today gets the worst deal. Not all women. There are some women that have not been ran through, that are protecting their bodies. But for the average, the regular guy, you're the guy, maybe that she would not have dated when she was 21 years old. And you're getting the worst. All those guys have done so many things with her. Oh, they have. Trust me. You see those basketball pictures back there? You don't think a peaceful life knows this world? And then people say, well, this is why you need guys like me making content like this. Because we'll tell you right off the back. You know what those women have been experiencing in their lives. And then all of a sudden, you're guy number 45, and they went to the church. The church, when they start quoting that religious scripture and talking that religious shit, automatically, I assume I'm dealing with a scammer. This one is trying to rebrand and sell at marriage MSRP. You know you're getting conned, because that's the way they're going to bully you into marriage. They're going to use religion to bully you into marrying them and making them a wife. It's a scam. They're running the scams at the church everywhere, all over America, maybe all over the world. The church itself has turned into a vaginal rebuilding center. It's like a Jasper that rebuilds engines. They go in there, they pray. I don't know, the pastor must sprinkle some holy water between their legs and they become virgins again, charging marriage MSRP. That's what the church is nowadays. It's a con, it's a scam. The more they pontificate religion, the more bullshit that comes with them. I'm not talking about the people and the women that are genuinely trying to change their lives and become better people. Salute to you women. Salute to you women that are really trying to be better, and the men too. But it's a scam out here. It's a con game out here because of the economy, because of the money. It's expensive out here. Repairing cars. Oh, look, my hands are all scratched up because I'm doing a rebuild project with my son on one of these old Chevy Tahoes with the Vortec engine. Guys, you know what I'm talking about, the V8 engine. And we've been doing some body work, rocker panels and all that stuff to be rusted out, have to get a lot of rust out and replaced and all that stuff. So we're doing all that work outside front. So I've been busy doing that with my son. It's just a project that I've always wanted to do. But what's happening out here now is pure scammery because of the economy, because of the money, because of all these government programs that have been completely eliminated. And these people know what they're doing. What they're doing is taking away all that bullshit safety program, and they want to increase the amount of breeding and kids making. Because what they're going to do, understand, is that when you give women all these programs and benefits and all this money to get these basket weaving degrees and bullshit degrees, they get stuck up and become jerks. And they say, well, we don't need no man, we don't need no marriages, and we don't need no relationship, and we ain't gonna make no babies. They walk around here with the bull nose ring and purple hair and starts talking crazy shit out the ass. But you can't do that stuff when all these programs, the DEI and affirmative action of all this shit has been eliminated. And you have to go out here on the Serengeti. Now you're out here on the Serengeti with men. And then you have the drying up of the simps economy, because simps can't even afford to be simps anymore that much. Be honest with you, it's expensive out here. And they realize that they ain't get the juice ain't worth the squeeze. So that's dried up. Then guys are going overseas, guys are holding on to their money, and guys are listening to men like me. And they're like, you know what? Absolutely not. So you have a drying up of the simp economy that has crashed. You have all these government programs. You have automation coming in, laying people off with jobs, more expensive. Like I said, stuff like car repairs, stuff like home repairs, stuff like things, the labor rate's high. Buying products, many products that I buy, even the products that I buy myself when I do the work myself, have almost doubled in prices. Fuel prices, everything, food prices, you add all these costs and all these expenses up. And guess what? The solution is your money. It ain't you. Don't fool yourself. Even a peaceful life doesn't believe that bullshit. The solution is the missing ingredient is your money, not you. Look yourself in the mirror and get over yourself and get over your ego. It ain't you, it's the goddamn money. Stop it. Don't kid yourself. Even me as a guy, tall guy, I'm 6'7", 6'8". The only difference between me and you is I can reach further down the trash can and grab the burger that only has maybe 1 2 bites and yours got 4 bites. I reach you the 2-bite burger if you want it. But either way, me and you are eating out the trash can. So get this delusion. Sexual liberation has ruined everything in this society. There's only one way to do it. And that's the old ways. And that ain't never coming back. And that ain't never going to be a reality where a woman is passed from her father to her husband, unspoiled. And they build a family and life together. That ain't happening. And that's not unrealistic. And that didn't exist in many of our cultures, but it's the only way it works. Otherwise, this sexually liberated world that we live in or experience that we live in produces mental health drama and problems in society, problems in general. So you either do it the old ways or you just do it the whatever this debauchery is we have going on. You know, it creates madness and it creates an environment where we have a lot of dysfunction out here. But I see it happening so much where they want to have the best of all worlds. And I think Dr. Ryan Terabin said it before. They want the freedom of the prostitute and the respectability of the lady. Go figure. You can't have them both. And that's what Klay Thompson bust the bubble. But he's just a brother that's suffering from serious post-nut clarity and looking for a reason to escape a bad situation because he got hung up. He got temporarily whooped. You guys know what I'm talking about. He went through a temporary period of infatuation with that Meg the Stallion, whatever she was doing to him in bed. And he thought that he can, I can reform this and build a future with this because it feels damn good only in the short term. But in the long term, after he has spent some time with her and whatever, and understood, look at his face. He felt what it's like to be with this woman. And he started evaluating her and what does she do? How does she behave? What does she do at the house? How does she behave at the house? He started living with her. He started spending extra time with her. And he's just looking at her and with empty balls. Because guys, with empty balls, our thinking is completely different. That's why I always talk about on this channel. I call it PNC regret, PNC depression, whatever you want to call it. You know how clear our vision is. Our shit is probably better than 2020. When that stuff is empty and you start looking around and start counting your money, you start looking at her, you start thinking about the mental health. She start calling him, harassing him. Where you at? What you doing? Where you going? Who you messing with? Because again, many times women that have been, who sleep with married men, they've been cheating or doing all kinds of debauchery behind the closed doors. They've been ruined and they accuse you of it. It's a projection, but it's really them. That's the jacked up one. And all the debauchery and the dirtiness they've done with married men or pay for play or whatever else, they're putting that on you. Now they don't trust you. But it's just they're projecting all these issues and trauma and insecurities because they know all the shit that they did. All the way they snuck off in the middle of the night on that boyfriend of theirs and got pounded out. They done all these things in the closet that are hidden. And now they suspect you. Because they remember when the married guy pounded them in the park. They remember when some guy, when their boyfriend went to work for 3 hours and some guy came by the house and smashed them. They remember sleeping with this guy for this advantage or doing that. Or maybe sleeping with the boss at the job. and the boss was married, or, sneaking here and sneaking there. And now they've done all this debauchery, and now they looking at you and say, you probably degenerate just like me. That's what they think. That's why they be attacking you. That's why they be coming at you. It's their own conscience that they can't live with. And because they have these dirty minds and they've done all this debauchery throughout their lives, they don't trust you now. And they're going to make you pay the price because they don't want you to do to them what they've done to other men. They're watching your every move, harassing you, checking on you, making sure the relationship is okay. Who needs that headache? That's for the birds. That's what's happening many times and so often. And I think that's what wear a guy like Klay Thompson down. And that's a speculation. And he's like, hell no. This is insufferable torture. It's like doing time on the penal colony. And that shit probably wore his ass down. And he's like, I got to get rid of this woman fast. That's my speculation. And I believe that to be accurate by the look on his face. He's like, I cannot live with this woman. And he felt it. He's taken massive L's in his personal life. The dude don't even look happy anymore. It's like he hates his life. With all that money to be rich and be wealthy and be with an insufferable broad or a high maintenance woman or a woman that sucks the energy out of the room, sucks all the oxygen out of the woman, or is harassing you and bothering you. See, we don't know what these women do behind the scenes. There's some women that will blow up your phone 20 times a day, bothering you. You're trying to, I'm trying to install some brakes or trying to, I'm underneath a car or I'm doing something, working on an engine, and she's blowing up your phone with all kinds of bullshit, questions and problems and issues and drama that you deal with. And I'm not saying all women are not like this. There's certain breed of women that are just absolutely insufferable. And then that's the situation you have now with the modern relationship. And again, if they have been sexually liberated, they don't trust you as much as you don't trust them. And they're going to project onto you. And that alone is a disruption, a disturbance of a man's peace and productivity. Nobody needs that irritation. You only have one life to live, and today is the youngest you will be for the rest of your life. And every time you deal with this stress, you age prematurely, and you look like you're about to hit the ground. You look like you're about to die out here with the stress level look on your face, dealing with these broads in 2026. Good luck to you, gentlemen. Peace is beautiful. Peace is enduring, and nobody takes care of you like you. A peaceful life is not anti-relationship. I am pro-relationship. I am anti-torture. That's all it is. I'm just anti-torture. Peace is beautiful, gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. More videos coming your way. I got to do some power washing. I'm out. Gentlemen, peace.